Greetings, Achilles community. Today is December 1st, 2022. And I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. And today, my guest is Thomas Stearley. This particular episode is going to be a long one. Not going to lie to you guys. But I can guarantee you that it's going to be one to definitely listen to. Honestly, I would probably listen to this over a long walk, a hike, even a long car ride, because it's going to get hefty, I'll tell you that. But anyways, I'm your host, Jacob Williams, and this is Moving Forward with Achilles International. Enjoy! So, we are recording. Tom, great to have you on. This is Moving Forward with Achilles International. How was your Thanksgiving, by the way?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah?
Just dinner with a friend.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you usually do, or do you do like a family thing?
Well, my family's in, my mom and dad are in St. Louis, so I don't obviously see them for Thanksgiving. My sister is in Stores, so we don't get together either. But normally I go out to dinner with friends. Mm-hmm. This year I had them to my place.
Oh, nice.
Because some of them don't like to go out to restaurants anymore.
Well, how come?
Still COVID. I just don't want to eat inside at a restaurant. They'll eat outside, but it was cold.
That's kind of it's pretty cool. Like what some restaurants did with like the whole like protocols and stuff. Like they had like different outdoor seatings and stuff. And in some circumstances, especially like in downtown New Haven, especially, they have like entire streets now blocked off, and it's just for restaurants. And it's so cool. It's like a little mini community, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, they have the same thing in Stanford, and they have heaters out on the sidewalks, too. So, I mean, I would have been cool with eating outside with a heater, but my friends weren't, so.
I mean, if the heater's strong enough, they would be okay, you know?
I would say in New York, we ate, the heater was right on top of us, and it was actually hot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good thing then, right? Or was it too hot? Like it was like making your back like tingle from all the heat blasting on you.
It was hot enough that I turned the heater down.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was right there, so.
Yeah. So it was like you do like a Friendsgiving kind of thing. Yeah. Usually.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I remember I live like off campus and stuff with my roommates, and I wasn't there at the time because what was I doing? I think I was doing some work for a club that I do here. I'm part of like Q30, which is basically, I do the show called Quinnipiac Tonight. It's kind of like SNL, but for the university here.
Oh, that's fun.
And I think it was either that or I was doing some other, no, it wasn't that. I was doing a gig down in Stanford for a company called Jackpot Picks, and we were doing finishing shoots for a movie that's in the works called Moments of Youth.
Oh.
And there was like some drone shots and stuff and all that we had to figure out at school. And I was there for like 12 hours and stuff, and I ended up missing the whole Friendsgiving dinner, unfortunately. I mean, it was Chinese food, so it's not like I was missing some like deluxe meal and stuff. But yeah, I heard it was a lot of fun. Chinese food's actually pretty good, personally. Chinese or
I like it.
Korean food, like that's always good.
Loved Korean food, but I haven't had that. And one of my friends is Korean. She's in LA now though. She made the most amazing Korean food, and she took us to Koreatown in New York. Incredible restaurant. I don't remember what it's called anymore though.
There was an Indian restaurant I went to near Yale. I forget the name. But they had like really good poutine there. I remember, so good. I think mine was like cream of spinach or something like that. It had spinach in it. That's all I know. Or I remember. But it's like really good food.
Was the movie like an internship for you?
The movie, it started out as an internship. I think either sophomore or I think it was junior year, and after that we did some shoots for like a month or so, and then my internship ended because it was for credits for the school.
Right.
But I still had their contact info. And so a few times afterward, like a couple months afterward, and then just recently with the whole school shoot and stuff, they would like call me back at some points for like extra help.
Oh, good.
You know, and
Oh, that's awesome. So they liked you.
they did. Apparently, I'm very likable. That's what people tell me. You know, but yeah, I like doing movies and stuff. It's fun. It's long work, but
Yeah.
it's definitely worth it. You know. Speaking of which, working out and doing a fitness routine. You like working out just like to maintain health, like doing like long-term goals, essentially. Do you have like short-term ones that are on your mind?
Right now, I couldn't exercise for 4 months because
Mhm.
every time I tried to exercise, that's how I injured myself and couldn't be in the marathon. So every time I tried to exercise, the pain came back horribly. So
Where was the pain?
lower back and then shooting down my leg toward my knee. So I couldn't exercise for 4 months. So my goal right now is to get my legs as strong as they were before those 4 months. So I've been back exercising now for, I think, 3 weeks and back in
Mhm.
physical therapy again. The legs are getting stronger, but they're still not strong enough. 4 months is a long time not to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's that's a short-term goal. My physical therapist actually said, because I walk on the treadmill with her,
Mhm.
and so she wants me to take 3 months off and just exercise at home, get my legs stronger, and then start working on the treadmill again. So that's short-term goal in terms of the next 3 months.
Mhm.
Long term, I need to get my arms and shoulders back in shape again for riding the bike.
Mm.
And I need to, and also I'm not going to ski this year either because of the arms.
No, you're not gonna ski.
No, well, because the arms and shoulders are too weak for that too. So
What about aren't there those types of skis that they have like the one ski in the
Yeah.
middle,
yeah,
and then like you just kind of like strong arm the snow kind of like turn? Is that I don't know how it works.
it's a mono ski.
Mhm.
And yes, that's what I do. The outriggers, they're actually supposed to be used as poles.
Mhm.
They're not really you're not supposed to actually use those to turn with.
Oh.
They just actually lengthen your arm when you're trying to turn. So you're shifting your weight. Do you ski?
I snowboard, but I did
Oh, okay.
start out at skiing.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember doing the pizza and stuff. That's what they teach
Yes.
you when you're a kid and stuff.
So you reach with your arm, and
Mhm.
you reach and you shift your weight the same way as you would on a normal ski, and it puts the ski on its edge, and you make a turn. So you're not really turning with these two little guys out on the side.
Yeah.
You're turning by putting the weight on the skis so that the catches and turns you around the corner.
Mm.
It's a lot of fun. It's awesome. So I spend my spring, summer, fall riding the bike, and then I spend the winter skiing.
So, if you have like enough time, would you say you'll be able to get back on the slopes next winter?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you have any favorite mountains?
I usually go to Pico and Killington.
Mm-hmm.
Go to
I've been to Killington. That's a nice one.
Yeah, it is nice. And I go to Sugarbush occasionally.
Where's that one? Is that in Vermont?
It's in Vermont also. It's north of Killington.
I go to Mount Snow, and usually, because I live in New Hampshire, I go to Crotchet Mountain. But I learned how to ski and snowboard on an even tinier mountain, which is like basically the size of Mohawk Mountain, which is around here.
Right.
That one's like a 2,000 footer, not even like maybe a 1,500 footer.
Right.
But that's where I learned to ski and snowboard. It was really nice. The small mountains are like the only thing that they have over the really huge mountains is that you never really it's at a faster pace. So like the chairlifts aren't as long.
Oh, right.
You know.
I was skiing. You're just turning around quicker.
Yeah.
Pico's Pico's part of Killington, but it's like a separate resort.
Mm-hmm.
And before it was part of it was a separate resort before it was part of Killington.
Mm.
But it's actually it's a nice small mountain where all the locals ski. And Killington is a lot of fun, but the people aren't quite as nice.
No? You ran into, let me guess, were they snowboarders? Because I could attest to that.
Actually, no. I love everybody. The snowboarders are nice. The skiers are nice.
Except when they create moguls, because you guys are just going side to side and stuff. Although, to be fair, snowboarders do create ice sheets. Because
they do. Yes, you do.
It equalizes out and stuff.
You guys do create ice sheets.
That's what I always joke about with my friends. They're like, "Oh, will you stop creating ice sheets?" I'm like, "I'll stop creating the ice sheets when you guys stop creating moguls." I don't know.
Oh, that's hard on a snowboard, isn't it?
It's the worst. What exactly makes it so hard? Because it's not like a center of gravity thing. I think it has to do with the fact, just the way we're positioned. Like when you're skiing, you're very square, so you have a better ability to like twist your hips more, I guess, without like losing control. I could be talking on my butt, I don't know, but and I think with a side, we don't really know how to explain it.
Well, no, I mean, I don't especially care for moguls either.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel you on that one. I like jumps. I don't like moguls.
Do you go like the terrain parks?
I do.
What's like the biggest jump you've done? You ever done like the ones where it's like you go like 50 feet in the air and you land in a like one of those blow up mats, so like they make sure you don't like
they have these wonderful,
those are always fun.
Not that sightings
Mm-hmm.
in the train park in Killington, and I just love to fly off the top of those. It's not quite the same because there's a jump in the middle where you just go forever and then come down, but I just go to the side of the jump and go over the top of the thing, and
like the crest of the hill,
crest, and just go airborne and land. And I do small jumps in the train parks, and I don't slide on it. I've seen people in moto skis do it.
Can't?
I'm a little old.
I mean, I would imagine that grinding on a mono ski will probably be kind of the same principle as a snowboarder, because it's both like one solid. I guess I don't know what you call it.
Well, we do go side to side like you do, from edge to edge.
Yeah. It's best when there's powder when you're doing that too. When there's ice, it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm actually best on ice when I'm not. If somebody tells me, watch out, it's icy, then I'm a wreck. But if I just come up on the patch of ice and it's there and I'm like, oh, okay.
This is new information.
Well, no, I mean, it's fine. I'm like, okay, I have to go straight. And I can't make any big turns. And so it's all fine and good. It's just when people warn me that there's ice out there that then I fall.
So just don't listen to people then, and you have to problem solve.
Because I ski with a bunch of volunteers, and I'm like, one of them just can't. I'm not like, John, you cannot tell me that there's ice on the mountain. You know that makes me a wreck.
Is he the culprit in most of the time? This John?
I'm like, well, he's the worst in terms of having to tell me what's in front of me, and I'm like, John, shh, stop.
Just wear earmuffs.
I'm like,
not listen to you.
I'm like, I know there might be ice out there. I said, and I'll deal with it when I get to it. That's funny. We go back and forth. I've been skiing with John for years.
Does he ski too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, John is 84 now. 85, still skiing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's skiing great.
I know. It's kind of funny how like that particular sport, you can find people from like what you said, like 80, 86, even 90, and then you have like preschoolers and like 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Like it's such like a malleable sport that allows literally anyone in any age group to really do it. It's kind of like golf. Like golf, you could do it at any age. You can't do like basketball at any age, I guess, or
You can
football.
do it more slowly. Well, football, no.
Yeah, definitely not football.
Basketball, you can play a little more slowly.
That's true. You can't do football. You can't do
Soccer would be tough because it's just such a huge field.
True, yeah, and then the amount of running that
Right.
they do, like 45 minutes of just straight running.
Yeah,
Do you watch the World Cup?
I did not.
You didn't?
No.
Neither
Or
did
I'm
I.
not.
I was hoping that you did, because all
Well,
I know is
well,
that
it's still going on actually, but no, I haven't watched it.
who's the U.S. going against? Do you know?
They beat Iran, and then they were going against. I knew before you asked, which is common. I don't remember. I know they beat Iran, and then they were going to play.
I know we beat them. Yeah.
I forget who it was next, and I think they played that match this weekend.
The only thing I remember, because I don't watch soccer at all, but like I'm always amazed at like the crowds that attend those games. It's insane. But I think I remember it was Japan beat Argentina or something like that. Someone beat Argentina, and then everyone was up in arms, because you know how much Argentinians love
Right.
football, or soccer, as the Americans call
I would
it.
say, yeah.
We beat Britain, or did we tie Britain? Because I know we went against Britain. I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't remember that.
I don't know if it was tied or not, but I remember there was like a funny post going around of like one of the players. He had like a shirt underneath like his jersey, and he pulled it up, and it says it's called soccer written on it. It was this whole thing and stuff. It was hilarious. But yeah, I think it was like Argentina lost someone, and then I think it's Japan, but then Costa Rica beat Japan, and Costa Rica is like known as being like one of the worst teams in like the entire division. So everyone's like, oh my god, like how is it that the team that beat Argentina, which is like one of the top contenders, lost to Costa Rica? Like, how does that make sense? It's just like a funny thing, you know.
Lots of. Who else was it that somebody beat Belgium? And they had riots.
Yeah, that's Belgium. I don't know what team went against Belgium. There's always riots.
I mean, there were riots in the Netherlands and Belgium because they lost, and I'm like, really?
Hey, they love that sport over there.
Yeah, that's true. They do.
You know, can you imagine if we had those sorts of those kind of crowds like in football? Like you got like the flares flying up in the stands and stuff, and the giant flags. Like that would be insane. But you know, football is probably even more tumultuous compared to soccer, because people are hitting each other all the time. You know.
Oh well, yeah. Well, no, I like football.
I love football. Pats fan all the way. Let's go. Still. I'm from New Hampshire. It's an obligation.
I was gonna say I forgot.
Listen, just because Tom Brady isn't with us anymore doesn't mean that I don't believe in our team any less. Are we as good as we were before? No, but you know,
you're not having a very good year.
Listen, life's a roller coaster. We're gonna have ups. We're gonna have downs. We're still the best technically. Like it's us, and then the Steelers, and then who's after us? The Giants, the New York Giants. Right? In Super Bowls?
Oh, you're talking about Super Bowl wins.
What do you think I was talking about?
Well, I thought you were talking about this year.
Oh, no, we're doing
I was going to say
horrible this year.
You're not ahead of anybody this year. Sorry.
I mean, we beat the Jets. You know.
But the Jets are actually having a good year, though.
Not with that quarterback that they got. You seen the throws that he's been doing?
No.
Did you watch the Jets versus Pats game?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well,
I mean, I've never really been a fan of Bill Belichick. I was a big Tom Brady fan, and I forget the quarterback before Tom Brady, and I liked him too.
That's gotta stink, though. Imagine that you're the quarterback that Tom Brady replaced.
Oh, yeah,
that's gotta be.
Well, Tom's not having a very good year either.
No, but you know, it's kind of funny.
If I were him, I would have retired after I won the Super Bowl.
He won 6 times? 7?
7.
7 times.
Because he
Divorced his wife too. He's like, it's either me or the ring, and Tom's like, I'm choosing the ring every single time.
Well, he's not going to get one this year either.
He's gonna get.
He's not going to get a ring, and he doesn't have a wife.
He's lost 2 rings.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Actually, technically,
he went from 8 to 7. Did you ever play sports when you were young?
I not really.
No. Did you ever like watch sports that often? Like
I watched football. Never much cared for. I like baseball in the stadium. I don't like baseball on TV.
Same. Because it's like a different feeling you get, right? Am I crazy?
I mean, with the crowd, it's more fun, and also, and I can see what's going on in the stadium because I can see that the bases are loaded or that there's 2 people on, and so I get the whole concept of the game when I'm in the stadium.
Yeah.
On TV, it's just some guy throwing a pitch and some guy swinging a bat, and they don't show the outfield, and they don't show you.
Well, they show you outfield.
They,
the ball's in the outfield.
Right, but they tell you, you know, there's 2 people on and everything else, but it makes more sense when I'm sitting in the stadium. And I like the crowd. And
baseball crowds are really relaxing, I'd say, because like there's not that much. Like I would compare the vibes, as the youth call it nowadays.
Well, you're one of the youths, so.
I am. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I'm just gonna roll with it. But I would say I would compare the atmosphere to that of like going out to a bar with your friends, where it's, you know, there's not that much going on in the field. You have like excitement going on, like at very small increments.
Right.
But overall, it's very relaxed. Like there's not that much going on,
right,
for the most part, unless you're really into baseball, which I'm not personally. I'm just there to have a Bud Light with a hot dog and chow with my buddies who are sitting next to me and stuff. But like I feel like a football game or a basketball game it's a lot more fast paced than a baseball game. So like the atmosphere is very much different. It's not an atmosphere of relaxation. It's more of like a atmosphere of like intensity, I guess. I don't know if you felt the same way, or I've never been to a football game, oddly enough.
Oh.
Like in the stands. I've been to a lacrosse game. I saw the Boston Cannons a few times with my dad, because I also played lacrosse when I was in high school, as well as football.
You played football too?
I did. I was a lineman. I was in trenches.
Wow.
It was fun. But it's like a whole different atmosphere and stuff, you know.
Yeah. No. Well. I've been to 2 college football games, and I went to the Super Bowl once.
We don't have a college football team here.
Oh no, you don't.
No, we don't. It's sad. If I had a hat, I put it down. I'd be like, you know, sad times, because
your basketball team is okay, aren't they?
We're not known for that. No one knows the basketball team.
Oh really? I thought they were decent.
Okay, people know the basketball team, but like we're known for our hockey team for the most part. Like our hockey team is the top 3.
Oh.
In the country, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, first time for everyone.
I would say I learned.
Now you know.
Say I learned something today.
You did. I think the other ones are Yale, maybe, and then I don't know, like definitely some northeastern team, like probably in Mass or something. Wouldn't surprise me. Okay. Somewhere cold.
I'd say it's usually somewhere cold that has good hockey teams.
No, they had the best one in Arizona, because, you know, they got plenty of ice over there, for sure. And I've been to Arizona. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's a fun state. You ever been to the West Coast?
Yes.
Where?
Eugene, San Francisco, Los Angeles.
State-wise, not like...
Oh. Oregon.
I've never been up that north.
Washington, California.
Been to Cali.
I drove through... Well, I grew up in the Midwest, so...
Lots of corn, cows. I can relate. New Hampshire's basically like that, too.
Well, I grew up in Des Moines, but if you drove out of the city, it was pretty much, like you said, corn and cows. And soybeans and I used to joke with my parents as we were driving somewhere that the only change of scenery was that there's corn on one side of the road and soybeans on the other. And then they flip.
So that's very riveting for long car rides.
Yeah, I was going to say it was so much fun.
I spy with my little eye something that begins with the letter C. Well,
and
you
then,
know,
well,
it's only one option.
You probably don't remember this, but when I was young, fertilizer was more cow manure based.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're driving somewhere in the summer, it was just absolutely wretched.
I'm pretty sure they use that same stuff in New Hampshire, because I live by a lot of farms or in my area, and every time, I mean, I'm used to it by now, but every time we pass by the farms in the summer and the spring, it smells like cow poop everywhere you go, you know. But also it could be from the fact that like one of the closer farms has like a cattle building, so like there's actual cows there. They don't like just use they don't just like plant in fields. They have like farm animals too and stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
They actually Loon Mountain is actually where the Northeast Adaptive Olympic team is based.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Northeast region.
I've been to Loon, I think maybe a decade ago, but it's a good mountain. I like those mountains.
I want to go there. Actually, maybe I'll go there next year, because I'd like to, because the guys there work with the programs.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get some lessons from some of them.
That's good. I love this conversation, by the way. Before we go on, could you just move the mic just like a little bit closer to your face? So I'll do it for you.
Oops.
Don't worry about it. No, it's not going to break. You're good. Like that.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry.
Perfect. Awesome. So you told me you utilize a bike, right?
Yeah.
For your races. How does that work? Because I was talking to another guest before. I think it was 2 podcast episodes ago. And he talked about how when he utilized his bike, it was like an electric one, that at a certain point when his legs would get tired, the battery would kick in and it would basically kind of pedal for him. So is your bike anything like that?
No, it's called a hand cycle. It's a 3-wheeled bike. It's down here. Sorry, you.
I've seen the picture of what the bike looks like and stuff. Is that for like?
So, and I crank it with my arms.
Oh, with your arms.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. So the cassette is actually in the front of the bike, and we crank with our arms, and that's it.
How you turn? It's like.
Not very well, but.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a phenomenal turning radius. So.
It turns like a boat, basically.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
God, I can't do.
Actually, last year, not this year, but the year before in the Hartford Marathon, you have to make like a U-turn at mile 18 or so, or 20, whatever, and it's literally a U-turn on a 2-lane road. So last year I kind of got into somebody's yard, and I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. I'll just ride through the yard. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm going through the grass for like the next 2 minutes, and I'm like, why did I do this? Why didn't I just push myself backwards and start over again? But anyway,
they didn't have anyone like that would help with like just.
They're not allowed to help us turn a corner.
No.
Do
they know the terrible turning radius of the bikes?
I've thought about suggesting that they turn all of us at that corner so that it's fair.
Like have like a little station on the side.
They can't turn some of us and not turn all of us. So I thought about, because they have volunteers at that turn, because it's they have lots of people standing at that turn. And I was like, maybe they should just turn all of us and make it life easier. But
that just makes sense.
it's all about us doing it ourselves, so I get it.
You made a new path for everyone else. I'm assuming just like following in line, and like a new dirt road. Guys, it's a shortcut, I swear. Follow me, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I won't make that mistake again.
I'm sure they won't make that mistake. That wasn't your fault. That was their fault.
Well, no, they have the same turn every year, and I've never wound up in somebody's front yard before. I don't know how I wound up there that year.
Mm-hmm.
Because every other year I've gone way over to the right and cranked as hard as I know what happened. I wasn't on my own bike. My own bike has a slightly better turning radius than the one that I was on that year.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get because you have to really bend your leg to turn a corner.
Really? Is it like it's like a body weight thing, or is it like just?
Well, no, you do actually turn it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the wheel doesn't turn very much.
How far? Only like 30 degrees to the left or right? Really?
Maybe like that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, actually, it can probably turn like that if you really, but you have to crank your knee up, and
that's horrible design. Who designed this bike?
Well, it's designed to go straight.
So what if like a
And
tree branch falls
goes
already,
like
or someone
this.
like falls or something? Like, how are you gonna turn out of the way?
Oh,
it's gonna go right through someone if they trip and fall.
It's really actually kind of, you just have to be really careful.
Mm.
Because I ride in Central Park, and people jump in front of you, and I yell a lot when people do stupid things.
Yeah.
I'm not yelling at them. I'm yelling to let them know that they're about to be killed.
That's one way to like imagine that. That's how you go out in this world to get ran over by a hand cranked bike. It's on your gravestone. Like, here lies Timothy McGee, died via impact from hand cycler.
But so I tend. I try to be very careful because when I'm in the park, I just try to be careful because I know people do stupid things.
I've been to Central Park a few times, and it's funny. I remember I had a bit of a culture shock because New York is just so much different than like even Boston or anywhere like in towns in New Hampshire. And I had this one moment where I was just walking on a sidewalk, right, looking up at the skyscrapers because I love infrastructure, like that kind of stuff. It's like every time I look at a building, I'm like, wow, someone built that. Like, that probably took months to like build and stuff. That's really cool. Oh, look at all these like stones. Oh, look at that lion sitting there next to the bank or whatever. I'm like looking at all these things, and then my girlfriend at the time like hardly does like a hard nudge on my shoulder. She's like, babe, you are causing a traffic jam in the entire sidewalk. You need to move faster. And this lady that was behind us, who was like a New York native, she's like, oh, is that why he's walking so slow? He's not from around here? And she's like, no, he's not from New York. He's from New Hampshire. He's not used to like the fact that you have to like, when you move, you have to move to somewhere. It's not like you can just wander around, you know? She's like, oh, don't worry. I was about to like start yelling at him to like keep moving along, but you know, have a nice day. It was a culture shock, you know.
It's when my parents moved to Connecticut my freshman year of college,
mm-hmm.
and I used to go through Grand Central Station, and I would look at the ceiling, and I was kind of like you. I would marvel at the architecture and all of the Hare Krishnas and the people who hang out in Grand Central would notice that I wasn't a New Yorker.
Yeah.
And they would come running over to me to sell me their little book and recruit me. And I'd be like, oh, no, thank you. And then 2 or 3 years later, I realized, oh, Tom, you've turned into one of them. because nobody's stopping you in they're still in Grand Central.
Yeah.
But they don't approach me anymore, and I'm like,
No.
oh.
They recognize what true New Yorker is. How it was? Do you think it was like a steady thing? Like one day you're just like, you weren't admiring stuff?
I was commuting to New York for work.
Yeah.
And that just changed my attitude toward the architecture and stuff, because then I was on my way to work.
You just saw it every day and stuff, so you got used to it.
So I was just used to it, and I was focused on getting to work, and I was just walking in a straight line like everybody else, and not looking at anything. And
so that's what happens.
I was like, yeah, that's what happens when you. But now it's kind of funny because the wheelchair kind of changed things again, because the people started approaching me again.
Yeah.
But then as I got used to being in the wheelchair, they all stopped bothering me again too. And I'm like, it's a shame, because I still love the architecture, and I would still like to stop and look at it. And I still do.
Do you still use like the subway systems with your wheelchair?
I haven't used the subway in a long time. There's only certain subways. You have to really be a New Yorker. I mean, you have to live there to know which subway stops have elevators, and then the elevators are frequently broken. And so and I have never learned how to use my wheelchair on a escalator, which lots of my friends do.
How would that work? Aren't the steps like too like wide enough or whatever?
Front wheels on the step in front of you, and you put the back wheels on the next step. So you're on two steps.
Is that for if you're going down or up?
If you're going up, you're on the front wheel is on the step in front of you, and the back wheels are on the step behind you. And if you're going down,
won't that put you at like an angle?
I mean, you're technically supposed to go down backwards.
Oh, because the back wheel's bigger.
Right,
okay.
So you're
okay.
not.
So
you're
you're
not
already
like this going. Yeah.
Okay,
you
that makes
fall
more
out of your wheelchair if you're going like this. I mean, if you're going downhill and then you're also have your wheelchair, it would just flop right out of the wheelchair.
That's not good.
So technically, yeah, you go down backwards and you go up forward. And I've seen lots of YouTube videos of people who screw it up and fall down the escalator, because those are the only videos that wind up on YouTube. When somebody does it right, it doesn't wind up on YouTube.
No.
So although I'm sure there's instructional videos for how to do it, and then I met someone who's just like, "Oh, Tom, I'll show you how to do it." And I'm like,
"Oh no."
I'm like, maybe in my next lifetime.
I would have been like, just show me what you got, and I would hold my phone out like, all right, you got this. You show me how it's done. If you're so confident, I'll let you do it.
No, she did it all the time. She's like, I can't believe you don't do it. And I'm like,
I would not trust any escalator if I had to go backwards on it. Personally.
Oh.
Like I'd have a fear of just like rocking back too far and then just like.
Well, you hold on with both hands and you put your brakes. I mean.
Oh, you do have I forgot.
I mean, theoretically, you put your brakes on while you're there, but I think most people just hold on with both hands. And I mean, it works. So that's the other way to ride the subways, but then you need to know what stations have escalators too. And so no, I take the buses.
Yeah, and the buses have the little platform that like raises up and down, and like it's almost kind of like a forklift almost, but instead of like the little spikes, it's like a flat platform, right?
Actually, the new buses actually have ramps that come out.
Oh, the ramps.
Yeah, they don't have the up and down thing anymore. So they have a ramp that comes out the front now, which actually changed. When they put the ramps in, we were actually supposed to start paying.
Really?
They never made us pay before when they had the up and down thing, because we didn't go past the place where you pay, because we got on in the back. But the bus drivers weren't allowed to touch money, because that was just a rule, because theoretically they could steal it if they took it from you.
Yeah.
So they just let us all ride for free. because like we can't take money from you, and you don't go past the thing, but they still let us ride for free. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Do you have like have you ran into like some bus drivers that were like, oh no, you need to pay, or has it just?
No, they just want to get us on the bus and strapped in.
Oh,
because we mess up their route. I mean, we slow them down. So their goal is just to get us on the bus and get us strapped in, so that they can go on. They don't care. I mean, no, nobody's ever said, oh, you have to pay. I'm like, oh, that's it. I mean, it would be fine. I'd get my phone out and pay.
Yeah.
Because you can pay with your phone now, but.
The Apple Pay, that's crazy just how much technology has just changed over like even a decade. Like, it's crazy.
So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if they told me I had to pay, I would pay. But nobody ever has.
That's good. I remember, do you go on planes as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that like I don't think I've seen a handicap spot in a plane. Are they like in the way back?
No. I actually, I walk onto the plane with 2 canes. I can hobble about with 2 canes. So I actually walk down the aisle with my 2 canes. I mean, obviously I board before everybody else, and I usually try to get the bulkhead seats so I don't have to walk as far.
That's smart.
If they have it available, they give it to me. I mean, if there's nothing available, then I sit the seat that I was assigned to. But, I actually I fly Delta now instead of American because Delta is much more accommodating than American is.
You never tried JetBlue before? They got the movie theaters, you know.
Oh.
They get the TVs.
Oh, that's right. No, I haven't flown on JetBlue. Well, I think I have to go to. I don't think JetBlue flies out of LaGuardia, or do they now?
I have no idea.
Because I always fly out of LaGuardia, and I think they fly out of Kennedy.
Maybe, although.
Well, they fly out of Hartford.
They definitely fly out Hartford and.
And Westchester.
Yeah, Boston Airport, obviously.
Oh right.
There's the Manchester one in New Hampshire. They have that there too.
Oh yeah, well, they have it at. If I ever wanted to fly to Vermont, I could, because they fly into.
It's on the tip of your tongue. You got it. What's the first letter?
Vermont's second largest city.
I live right next to that state, and I barely know anything about it. I just know that they make good Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and they have even more cows than us, which is surprising, because New Hampshire has a lot of cows, but apparently Vermont beat us in that record, so.
Oh, I had no idea.
I mean, it's not an official record. That's just the rumor.
Are you from a small town?
I am. I was born in Hudson, and I lived there in like a very large neighborhood for most of my early life, and then we moved to an even smaller town in Mount Vernon, which is like near Amherst and stuff. And it's like one of those communities where you have like homes and farms, and that's it. If you want to go to work, you have to drive 45 minutes to like the nearest town to like work.
Unless you're a farmer.
Unless you're a farmer or you do labor.
And you live on your farm.
Well, there's only like 2 farms. So the only labor work I was only able to find was landscaping for like people's yards.
Oh, okay.
Because they have a lot of land there.
Right.
Because other than like the only taxes I think we have are high land taxes. But everything else is like really low. Like we have no sales tax and no income tax.
I know there's no income tax.
It's awesome. It's so good. But you know, a lot of the homes are like they have lots of anchors and stuff they need to cover, so they need landscaping companies to like mow all their lawns and trim all their hedges and stuff. So that's what I did for a couple summers, and then I painted houses.
Oh, okay.
For a while, and then I was doing that while at the same time doing internships in film. I told you about the one in Stanford, and then I did one in Colorado for a documentary, and then I was doing commercial shoots in Los Angeles over the summer.
Oh, nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Do you like LA?
I do. Well, I don't. The commercial one was a little bit hard on me, I'd say, just because I was the only one shooting, and the way it worked is that my, I guess my boss, it was like an unpaid internship and stuff, but because it was through the school, she would have like a hair client that she was doing, and it's a hair salon. You're in one room, right? I would be in that one room for eight to like 10 hours every day, getting different angles of her getting their hair done, and then I'd go home, and then I would like sleep and stuff or whatever, and then I would edit all day afterward for like 4 or 5 hours or so, and then send it to her and rinse and repeat for like 3 months.
Rinse, no pun intended.
It definitely builds some character, I'd say.
That was for a local TV ad for a local hair salon.
That was for the Los Angeles one, and it was like a startup one. Like, it wasn't like a well-known one. It was like this one. It was so funny.
But it was like a local ad for a local shop.
Basically, like I was just
and
doing.
And they put that much effort into it.
Well, I put that much effort into it because whatever job I'm having, like I work hard at.
Okay,
it's just the way I am.
No, that's fair. No, that's good. Actually.
But she was a nice lady. She was like more of like a hustler kind of thing. Like she was doing that and doing like a puppy business as well.
Oh.
So her and her son were doing this whole thing. And it's funny. I remember the first time I got on the job, she actually didn't have a hair salon room yet. She was at a nail salon, and I guess she paid off the owner of the nail salon owner, and they ended up taking like a large sheet, like a coat rack kind of thing, with like with a sheet that kind of like blocked everyone's view, and a large shelf, and laid out like a small corner within the nail salon. That was her office for the first month.
Oh.
And then afterward, we moved into like an actual hair salon after that. So the first month was tough, I gotta say. But
you spent a whole month doing that?
Yes, I did. Oh yeah, I did other things. I my the school program had we have like field trips and stuff. Like we go to like the Hollywood Bowl, or we go to like Venice Beach sometimes, the Santa Monica Pier. I went there for my birthday. Actually, it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Where else did we go? We went to this one place. It was like 21 and over only. So it was like me and like 4 other people that were 21 at the time.
Oh.
And it was like this play that had like drinks with it as well. It was so cool. I think it was called Cages. That's what it was called. Oh. And it was like a steampunk kind of, and they had like this their drinks were basically like in the same kind of theme. Like there's a steampunk theme, so you had steampunk themed drinks and stuff. It's kind of cool. But you do like, that would be like the balance. Like that would help me not go insane.
Over over the hair salon.
That and the Colorado documentary.
Oh, okay. Are you a senior this year?
I'm a grad student.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in product management. So right now I'm learning to be a producer.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be budgeting and scheduling scripts, dealing with talent agencies, different permits, all that stuff. I don't know exactly if that's what I want to be, but it's definitely pays good. It
does pay well.
It does. Anything above the line.
Well, I was going to ask if you wanted to make films, or so you haven't decided yet.
I like making films.
Oh, okay.
But I'm more of like I can't be doing paperwork. Like that's just not who I am. I like being in the field. Like I was a camera operator for the documentary in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
I love doing that, you know. But I just don't have the skill set to be a DP, you know. Right now, I guess, and I get maybe in comparison to like other students that I've met, but I'd have to be like out, you know, like working in the set rather than like just standing with like a pen and notepad and like writing things down and like talking on the phone constantly. Like, no, that's not for me.
So you don't want to raise money for the films and produce them and manage the people and stuff. You just rather make the film.
Well, I like talking to people. It's part of the reason why I'm doing the podcast. You know, like talking to people is what I'm good at. Apparently,
say you are good at it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a talent I had to learn over time. I wasn't always as good at. I mean, I'm not here to boast or anything because you know, I try to be humble as much as I can, but it was definitely something practice. You know.
In the business you're planning to be in, you need to sing your own praises.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe I'm different. You know?
No, but I mean, have to be a little less humble if you want to get ahead. And
I would say I'm humble with my coworkers, not so with my friends. And then, you know, that would be like the...
Okay.
Like if I worked with you long enough, you're my friend, you're not just my coworker. And then I would boast to you all the time. Oh, look how great I am and stuff. And then you would agree because you know me enough to know that, oh, this guy's great. You know? I'd have no condescending arguments and stuff like, oh, you think you're so good and stuff, blah 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 blah, all that stuff, you know. But yeah, I like it. It's a lot of fun.
Good.
What do you do?
I don't work.
Oh, well, you said you when you're traveling to like New York and stuff. Like, what did you do then?
Computer software.
I have an uncle that does that. He does websites.
Oh.
He creates them. He like codes them up and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
No, I was in sales.
Oh. What'd you sell?
It was communication software at that time, and then asset management software, and I was director of sales for the little company.
Did you like that job?
I did. I wouldn't want to do it again. Yeah, no, it was the thing about the industry is that it's fun because you're constantly. It changes so quickly.
Yeah.
That you have to learn new things all the time.
Yeah.
And so that part of it was fun, and I loved my customers.
Mm-hmm.
They were a bunch of just a bunch of nice people.
Really had to think about that one, didn't you?
Well, no. Well, because
they were. How should I explain it? They were nice people. They were nice. They're. That's all they were. They're just nice people.
No, they were just. I mean, they. I mean, my customers were computer.
They're nerds, basically.
Yeah. But they were nice nerds.
That's just good. I've met plenty of nice nerds. I was a nerd myself for the most part.
I mean, they liked me because I'm not stupid, and so they respected me for that, and because they were used to salespeople not being just being salespeople and not really understanding what they were doing. So I understood what they were doing, and they appreciated that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that made it fun because.
It was like the intensity, just like constantly.
It's just, and you could be working for a company one day that's successful, and the next day it's not, because something new came along.
That's how fast technology is moving nowadays.
Right. So it was fun, and it was challenging, and a lot of smart people in the business. So all of that was fun.
Were you using like the old IBM machines, like you know how like chunky those computers used to be, like back in like the early 2000s?
Actually, it's my not freshman year of college, the first year that I took computer science course in college, and now you're going to find out how old I am, we were still using card readers, which was
It was like the floppy disks, right?
No.
Card
No, these were, you fed a card, you wrote a program.
Yeah.
It punched holes in a card.
Oh, it's like an actual like sheet of paper, kind of almost.
Well, like
an index card.
It was like maybe 10 inches long and 3 inches wide. Mm-hmm. It was it was harder than paper, but not as...
Kind of like plastic, almost?
No, it was like a thick piece of paper.
Okay.
It's hard to describe. It wasn't as thick as a postcard, but thicker than maybe if you slap 4 or 5 pieces of paper together, that's what thickness it would be.
I can go along with that.
Kind of, anyway, and you would write your program, and it would stamp holes in these cards, and then if it was a long program, you just stand and feed all of your cards through the card reader, and then it would compile it and spit it out, and if you made a mistake, you had to start all over with the cards again.
All of them?
Basically, yes. And
did it tell you which card was wrong, or did you have to figure that out yourself?
You had to figure that out on your own.
Oh my God, that would cause so much anxiety for me.
So the next year we had Apple computers that you could actually program on the computer, and you could fix your errors on the computer, and so life became much easier.
Oh, I'm sure.
But and then because I started out selling personal computers, and the first portable computer was a compact computer that was the size of a typewriter.
Mm-hmm. It was like in a suitcase.
Yeah, it was
right?
It was
basically
like in a suitcase. Yeah, exactly. And probably weighed 20 pounds, and people actually carried them around with them.
Weren't they like the first phones kind of like that too? Do you ever use those?
Oh.
Kind of?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of cool.
Had one of those too. Had one of those in my car.
How heavy were those?
Oh, I don't know. I'd never really... Actually, that's not true. I took it out of the car and used it. But it didn't... the battery didn't last very long, so you couldn't really... but I would... They were like a phone. They were like...
It's the bikers.
It was like well, you probably don't know that either. Did you ever have a phone that you actually picked up and put to your ear?
Not like the... was it like the one where like it was a classic kind of looking, I guess? Like we had a landline, but I don't think it looked the way that you just described. It was like it was a lot smaller, and it had buttons.
Oh,
it wasn't like the one you were just saying. Did it have like the scroll wheel still, or was it?
Yeah. But anyway, so there was a handset you picked up, and you had an earpiece and a mouth. People can't see what I'm doing.
He is trying to demonstrate, everyone. He's got his finger
trying to describe a phone. Old phone headset.
So imagine him talking on an old phone, ladies and gentlemen.
And so that was about the size of the cell phone then.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have to use like typewriters in school?
I did.
So my dad, he would tell me all the time. You just hear the constant tick-tacking.
Only class I dropped out of and the teacher was irate with me.
We don't use them anymore. It's fine.
Well, no, because I dropped out we could drop out after about 4 or 5 weeks. And it was though you had never taken the course.
Yeah.
And
it's 2 weeks for us. We don't have that much time to really.
Oh, at school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was in high school though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's about the same for us.
So in high school we could. So at 4 weeks and 4 days, I dropped his class, and he was livid. And I'm like, you were going to give me a C or a D, and I'm not going to let you destroy my perfect.
That's a lot better than what I got for my English class. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm like, well, no, because I had A's and A pluses and everything, and I'm like, you're gonna just, I'm not gonna graduate at the bottom of my class because of you.
Well, I mean, I don't think you'd graduate the bottom of your class. You know, if you have all those A's already, you know, you be in the high tier still. You know.
Yeah. So anyway, but so it is, and he said I would have given you an A anyway, and I'm like,
no.
He's like, I give everybody an A, and I'm like, well, too late.
So what'd you replace a class with?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, wait. So do you not have like a credit limit?
Oh, I was taking more classes than I needed to in high school.
That's smart.
So I could drop typing and it didn't matter.
That's good.
So anyway, trivia from many
years ago.
Well, no, it's still. I mean, we were writing our papers on typewriters in college. Still,
it's crazy. I used to think that like having like those old Dell desktops was like the future. Like the old, like the 2000. I remember there's one Dell computer we had for at least like a decade.
At home?
At home. It was like from 2004, but we used it until like 2010, 2012. And it became the game computer for me and my little sister. We'd play like Zoo Tycoon on it all the time. But like that thing was like it was so freaking old. Like it still had the you know how like desktops now it's just like you just have the screen and then like the screen itself you could put like USB drives in or like discs in and all that, it reads it. Well, this one was so old that it still had like the giant I don't even know what you call it. Like it was like that a big box that you put on the side.
Oh, right.
And that's where you put like the discs and like all the other stuff. Like it still had that, and that thing was dusty.
Oh, the big, yeah.
I don't even know what to call it. Like, what's it called?
That was
disk reader or something.
Oh yeah, the floppy disk drive.
Is that what it's called?
Well, there were floppy drives and 3.5-inch floppy. I mean, first there was a 5 1/4-inch floppy drive, and then there was a 3.5-inch floppy drive. I went through all of this in my career, and then networking, and then it's interesting.
Yeah.
But they don't have any of the drives anymore.
No, they gotta store them somewhere though. You can't just get rid of all that data. Like once it's on, it's they like what I'm pretty sure like whatever data was on those drives, it's probably exported to some other drive like in the World Wide Web or something, and it's got to be out there somewhere. You know, like once it's on the internet, you can't really. Well, this is all pre-internet.
I would say that was all before the internet.
That's insane. That is such a foreign concept to me because, I mean, like I was born in 2000, so like, with the internet didn't start until like what, like 2004, right? 2005. Am I not mistaken? It was early. I know it was early 2000s.
No, I was using AOL at work in 1990.
Also, even earlier.
1990.
But that was just email, though.
3 or 4.
That wasn't like with like actual websites. I was just like sending stuff back and forth.
No, there
right?
were websites.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. In that case, then I just not growing up with like.
And then AOL got displaced by.
Was it Yahoo? Wasn't Yahoo big at one point?
No. Well, Yahoo was before Google.
I do remember that. My dad would use Yahoo all the time.
And but Netscape replaced AOL, and then Microsoft blew out Netscape by giving away the web browser for free.
Where do you think all this technology is going to lead us? Like how far in advancements you think you'll see?
I've seen so much change in my lifetime already.
Mm-hmm. Nothing surprises you at this point?
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, artificial intelligence is cool, but a little bit frightening.
They have movies about this, guys. Come on now, we gotta learn better. Terminator and iRobot with Will Smith. Good movie.
Haven't seen it.
Which one? iRobot?
Yeah, iRobot.
It's good.
Okay.
I think it's on Netflix.
All right, I'll
give
watch
it a watch.
I'll watch it. And I don't. Like I said, I mean, the metaverse would be cool, but I do like real things.
Same. The metaverse scares me, because
I mean, I don't want to sit in my living room and play golf on a golf course. I mean, although I have to admit it would be cool to play on any golf course in the world that you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of like what the Wii is, in a sense. Like, you ever played like Wii Sports before? It's like the same thing, but instead of like looking at a screen, you have like a full.
Yeah, you're just completely. It's like you're there.
Have you ever used VR before?
No.
You never.
I never have.
It is. I probably used it a few times.
Well, I would say
it is
your major. I would think you had.
Well, it's not. It has nothing to do with film. It's very different. This is like computer science in a sense.
Okay, well, that's
like
true.
video game.
But you don't think it will?
People smarter than me make these things.
But you don't think it will affect film eventually?
See, I might be wrong on this because I'm still young. I don't know. I haven't been in the official industry for that long. But my guess is that the issue with VR film is that you can't really direct, like the whole thing with like editing and like being like a director is that you create a sequence of shots in order to manipulate the audience. That's basically what a movie is. It's a series of shots that you put in a specific order to create a specific kind of emotion. That's what it is.
Right. Okay.
You don't have it that much control with VR because you have a 360 view. Like say, like for example, you have like a night battle or something. Like you have something with like a lot of chaos in it. Like you would have to have an incredible budget because like in standard shooting practices, you would only have to worry about one specific angle, and then you cover that angle with whatever resources that were necessary, like props and set design and wardrobe. Well, if it's 360, well, that means that you have to have the entirety. So that's probably double, triple the amount of resources that you would need.
Right.
So that in of itself, from like a producer standpoint, that's going to be a logistic nightmare.
Right.
You know, only very large movies would ever have the capacity to do like a very to do a film that is high, that is like has a really good quality that's also VR. The only issue is that a lot of the high ranking studios would not do that. Like you'd only have like the indie studios, like maybe A24 or very local
but they wouldn't be able to afford it.
No, exactly. So that's one of the issues right there. And the other thing is, like like I said, you wouldn't be able to direct the audience. Like if something's happened, like your main character is talking with someone, what's gonna stop someone from like turning around and like looking at the architecture?
Oh,
You're
right.
just looking at the architecture
Right.
while the guy's like dying in someone's hands
right.
and stuff. Like,
Oh, that's true because you're VR.
yeah,
So
you
you
have
can
full
do whatever
control.
you want.
Exactly. Like you can completely ignore the story.
Right. You can.
Overall.
Right. Oh, I didn't
You have the choice to do that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. No, yeah, but you're right. You could if you didn't like something, you could just. Actually, I saw The Birds in 3D at Universal Studios.
The Birds. Is that the Alfred Hitchcock one?
Yeah, Hitchcock.
It's a good movie.
Come on. You're a film.
I know.
Film major. You have to know The Birds.
Okay, I don't. I get made fun of all the time. I don't watch as many movies as some other students do, and I'm always getting roasted about that constantly. I have a very particular taste. I like action movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like whatever just pops up that interests me.
So you're a Marvel fan?
Kinda. Like at this point, I'm like oversaturated with Marvel at this point.
Well, yeah, I get that. Yeah, there's lots of them.
I probably watched. Let's see, my favorite one is Winter Soldier. It's so good. And then I think I watched a lot up until Infinity War, and then after that, I'm like, I think I'm good.
Enough. Okay.
Enough. You can't really beat a climax like that with Thanos and stuff. Like, how do you top that?
Haven't seen it.
You should see it. It's really well. All right, have you seen Endgame?
No.
Watch Endgame before you watch Infinity, because it's like basically part 1, part 2.
Oh, okay.
So Endgame, Infinity War.
Okay. Anyway, but birds in 3D terrified me. Because all the birds were, because on the screen.
I thought you said you didn't use VR.
They at Universal Studios they had movies in 3D.
Oh wait, was it like was like a surround screen with like 3D, or was it just like
I think it was a surround screen, yeah.
So was like how explain to me how like the whole setup looked like.
You're asking me to remember something from a long time ago. I think it was like you said, like a dome.
Okay.
But the bird, because in the movie, the birds are on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's fine. In 3D, the birds are actually flying
like at you,
in your face. Yes, at you.
Oh gosh.
And I was, but like you said, in VR, I closed my eyes.
Were you like ducking and weaving and stuff? Like, get away from me!
I was ducking and weaving for a while, and then I was like, I can solve this problem. I just closed my eyes.
You can't see me if I can't see them.
Exactly. But that's your virtual reality problem, too.
That is.
Because I was kind of terrified at the birds coming at me, and like you said, I was like this.
But, like, that, again, one of the points of creating movies in the first place is to manipulate the audience into certain emotions. What you experienced right there was an extreme emotion of fear.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in some circumstances, because what I would compare VR is like for me personally, I'll compare it to like 3D glasses. Like, it sounds cool on paper, but like, you ever been to like a 3D movie and like after 20 minutes of wearing those glasses, you're like, what the hell? Like, it's like they hurt. They're
right.
They fog up.
Actually, that's right.
We cause creases in your nose.
We had 3D glasses on in the movie.
Yeah, and then like after a while, it's like your eyes can't handle it and stuff, and you take it off, and it's like it defeats the whole point of like 3D. But it also, I could be wrong, and the technology could allow for new forms of storytelling that we haven't seen before.
Right.
And that is like what we do use, what you said with like the dome thing, a lot of movies nowadays utilize that kind of technology, especially for like backgrounds. Like they don't now, like back then they would have to have scratch, or you're going to have the real forest. Now you can have like a platform the size of this room, some grassy rocks and like shrubs, and then you'll have a giant screen in the back.
Say a blue screen.
No, it's not a blue screen. It's like an actual. It's like a monitor that you have like the background of like trees and stuff like that. That's how they shot a lot of the scenes in The Mandalorian. Like I saw the Instagram post about how in the canyon scenes when have you seen the show, by the way, The Mandalorian?
No.
A specific character ends up getting kidnapped or whatever, and the main character is looking for them, and then like it shows like a behind the scenes intercut with like what's actually like seen in like the film, and like it's really cool how like they incorporate practical effects, which is like the stone and like the gravel that they place on the platform where the character walks, and then digital and VFX, which is like with the large display that's behind them. It's really cool. And it's only getting better. There's going to come a point where everything's going to be digitalized. Like we won't have anything practical, which would kind of stink because I personally like practical. It's a lot better, but it's also more expensive.
Right.
You know. So, I'm excited for it, but you need to try VR. It's an experience, for sure. It's scary too. Like if you thought that was bad with the birds, the first VR experience I had was it was like you're in the ocean, like next to a coral reef, and there was like a shipwreck, if I remember correctly, and a giant whale would like come up to you, and like the eye would be like as close as that microphone is to you, like the whale's eye, and be looking at you, and I almost like it was so bad. I was a kid, so I started freaking out, thinking that the whale was gonna eat me, and but it was like mind-boggling, just like how intense it was, because your fight or flight kicks in.
Right. Yeah.
Like you forget that you're looking at a screen, like especially with really good goggles that like if you get really bad goggles, your peripherals around like your nose and the corners of your eye allow you to kind of see outside the mask, so that just breaks the immersion immediately if you could do that. Like if you get like cross-eyed and you can like look between like where the foam is, you know, immersion broken. But like if you got really good ones that are nice and tight on you, you got good quality headphones, it's an experience you would just have to try it yourself. That's insane. But yeah, how long have we been talking for? Like an hour? Probably an hour.
I have no idea.
6. It is 6:36.
Oh yeah.
When did you get here? At 5:15, 5:30?
Yeah, I was in the parking lot, I think, at like 5:10.
5:10.
So we were in here at 5:15, 5:20.
You think we should wrap it up?
That's up to you.
I think we should wrap it up. I don't want to keep you here too long and stuff. I don't know if you have. I don't want to have you get caught. Well, there's probably not gonna be that much traffic on the way back now.
It should actually be easier going home than it was coming here.
We'll just watch out for the construction workers. Do you take 95 or the Marriott?
Combination. I'll take 95 to Bridgeport, or not, Merritt to Bridgeport, and then get on 95 from there.
Okay. Just be careful with the construction workers, because I know sometimes they got weird cone placement, and I've had some run-ins with the cones sometimes on the way back from Stanford, because it'll be after like a 12-hour work shift, so I'm tired. I'm like snoozing on the Marriott, and like I have a giant F-250. So like you don't have that much room for like error with having something that wide. And I ran over a couple cones here and there, you know.
I took out a cone with had a little Audi A3. And my rearview mirror hit one of those, it's not like a regular little cone. It was one of the tall ones that stands up.
Yeah.
And it smashed my mirror, and it was. I had no idea that it cost
a lot of money.
It was $1,400 to replace. It was like 4 parts and $1,400, and I'm like.
That's where it gets you.
I'm like, it's a mirror.
See, that's what you think, but it's all the other small bits of plastic that are on other like. There was the same thing happened to my sister.
There was the turn signal part of it,
mm-hmm.
and the mirror part of it, and the cover part of it, and I'm like,
it's just like different. It's like Lego pieces. Like you think you only broke one, but you broke like 5 of them.
Yeah, there were 4 pieces to the mirror.
My sister ended up having some dude. She didn't get T-boned in a parking lot, but like he like scraped against her, and he hit it just at the point. It was like right above the tire. It was just at the point where the door and the rear bumper, the side bumper, and the bumper right above the tail light all connected in that little corner. So she had to replace 4 different panels.
Wow.
For a scratch that looked like would have costed $50 to fix, but because it was in like that perfectly like.
So it was like $2,000 or $3,000.
Basically, yeah. But thankfully the insurance paid it off.
I was gonna say, the insurance company paid for my mirror, but I was like, I was still a little dumbfounded. I have an American car now. The mirrors don't cost $1,400.
What do you drive?
An Acadia, GMC Acadia.
My dad has a GMC. I don't know. I think it's a Sierra.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really good.
I mean, I got the Acadia for the bike and the skiing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just much easier to cart those things around.
I have a Ford F-250 from like 2012. It was a hand-me-down from my dad. We used to use it to drag the camper to like campsites up in Maine.
Right.
And then, we got rid of the camper. And he's like, I don't really want to get rid of this. I don't want to buy it. I don't want to, help you out with another car. You can just take it, go on the road. I'm like, all right.
Cool.
Minus the gas prices,
I was going to say, it's a little bit expensive to be driving around today.
That's why I walk to school. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Do you have a bike?
No.
Oh.
I probably should get one. But I like walking here. I actually ruck here. That's like part of my training regiment. I ruck with like 40 pounds of weight on me.
Oh.
And I do weightlifting, and then I ruck back.
Oh, okay.
And I've been doing that for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, cool. Good for you.
It takes a toll on the legs, for sure.
Yeah, but they'll get stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
That is the goal. I mean, the goal is to lose weight. Like I'm trying to cut and stuff. I've already like lost. Let's see, I was 175 over the summer, and then I gained a lot of weight back. I'm like at 190 right now, and I'm trying to get back to like 170, 165 maybe.
Okay.
It's pretty hard. But we'll see how that goes. I've already lost like 80 pounds before, because I used to be 250 pounds at my heaviest. That's why I was a lineman in high school.
Yeah, I was going to say, I assumed you were bigger when you were a lineman.
I was.
Well, yeah, you had to be.
It was a necessity. Although, even though I was like bigger, I was a lot shorter than a lot of the other linemen, unfortunately.
Oh.
Everyone else was like 6'3" and 300 pounds. There's not that much you could do against that amount of mass,
True.
But I made it work.
I was going to say, you survived.
I did. I don't know how. I don't know how I didn't get CTE, but I survived.
Say your brain is still working?
Maybe. I mean, I am a film major after all. So, like, I don't know if not that much brain power is very needed in the first place.
That's not true.
I know, it's not. It's a very funny joke, though. It made you laugh. So, that was...
That is true.
It worked.
You have to be very creative to do...
That is true.
To do what you want to do, which requires a brain.
It does. Well, you need a brain to do anything.
Well, that is true.
Also to make new dirt paths in people's front yards when you can't handle the turn radius on a bike. It's that motor function, you're like, I gotta make a new path, I gotta adapt and survive.
It's like I got this, and then I'm like out there and I'm like, no, you don't got this.
Well, you finished the race. So
I did finish the race, and I actually had one of my better times, which after having spent that much time in the grass, I really didn't expect to have one of my best times.
That's good.
I was like, wow, I could have actually set a personal record if I hadn't gone through somebody's front yard.
Well, have you been to that particular race before, like many times?
Hartford?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd done it 6 times before.
6. All right. So so obviously.
But it was always on my own bike. Like I said, had a better turning radius than the one I was on.
So, okay. So you've already had a normal route.
Right.
Per se.
So yeah, I've done Hartford 7 times and New York 7 times.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, no, that's my coat.
No, I was to say, yeah.
Yeah, we're looking, so
yeah, there you are.
For people listening in, like, there's a TV screen right next to us. You can actually, hold on, I can change those.
Are we done?
It is still recording. We're about to be done, but I don't know why it did that. Is it, okay, we're back.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, you're working.
What was that?
I don't know.
We're going to have to edit that out.
Anyway. That was not a pleasant noise.
No, it hurt my ears too. Tom, thank you
so
much
Appreciate
for
it.
being on. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I had a great time. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say to the lovely people of the Achilles community? You may or may not be our last guest. I'm trying to get another guest on for next week, but if I'm unable to, you'll be our honorary last guest.
Thank you to everybody at Achilles, New York, Achilles, Connecticut. Lots of great people, lots of great friends. And everybody keep doing what they do.
Thomas Stearley, everyone. Everyone have a nice day. And if I don't see you next week, in that case, everyone have a great rest of your year and have a wonderful early Christmas and whatever holiday that I end up missing out on when I'm no longer doing podcast episodes. See ya.